l'accord de Paris pour le climat est accepté.
With the bang of his gavel, French Foreign Minister Laurent Fabius signalled the deal was done. There were celebrations mixed with relief. Over 190 countries, for the first time ever, agreeing on a common strategy to tackle climate change, the Paris Agreement.
I now invite the Conference of the Party to adopt a draft decision entitled Paris Agreement, which features in the document. I'm looking around the room. I see the reaction is positive. I don't hear any objection. The Paris Agreement for the climate is accepted.
It was the fourth draft of the deal, forged after yet another all-night session of negotiations. The agreement contains a commitment to keep global temperature rise to below 2 degrees Celsius, and for the first time mentions 1.5 degrees as a future target. It also promises new climate finance, starting from $100 billion a year to help developing nations. It requires countries to review their carbon-cutting pledges every 5 years. And it calls for carbon emissions to peak as soon as possible and for zero emissions in the second half of this century. It was hailed as a major breakthrough.
This is a tremendous victory for all of our citizens, not for any one country or any one bloc, but for everybody here who has worked so hard to bring us across the finish line. It's a victory for all of the planet and for future generations.
This is a historic deal. We're seeing all countries of the world making a political commitment to reduce their emissions and deal with the impact of climate change.
But others aren't so happy, saying the deal isn't tough enough to head off the worst effects of climate change. In downtown Paris, protesters had gathered all day to demand more. Despite the differences, Paris has delivered an unprecedented achievement. More needs to be done, and different countries are travelling at different speeds to cut their carbon emissions. But with this deal, for the first time ever, everyone is travelling in the same direction. Simon McGregor Wood, TRT World, Paris.